Welcome to WO50 Women Over 50 Embody Wisdom and Wellness.
Well, today we embody a lot of wisdom. At least you do, my BFF. We're here with Dr. Eddi Kenny. She's one of my best friends for many years. We do this podcast, and my name is Corinne. And today our topic is right down Eddi's lane. This is her lane. It's junk to joy, the dish on real food versus junk food. Real food versus junk food.
Food, all right. Fresh food.
So tell us about the top. You had a lot of lists today that were very handy to talk about.
I know we had the most addictive foods. We had the Dirty Dozen, the Clean 15. We talked about why we want junk food, some of the things we can do to change our opinion about junk food for healthier junk food, and on and on.
And why we have cravings, and we gave lots. So this is full of knowledge about food. If you want to, help with some of your eating, if you have some, if you fatigue or headaches or any bloating around food, or just want to learn some things, I think this is a good one. It's a really good one. Hello, Eddi.
Hello, Ken. Long time no see.
Oh my gosh. Is life as busy for everybody else as it's been for us? It must be. I know. I kind of feel like when things are busy for you and I, then the world is not so. Because we usually have lots of. I mean, I've got a little more space in my schedule than you do, but still, it's a kind of a wacky time.
I think it's just a global thing. It feels like
I do.
Everybody
For
is
sure.
saying the same thing. Yeah, they're going. How do we do it? How do we stop and slow down and breathe? And I'm like, okay, we have to. 1 minute, 1 second at a time.
Yeah, even if it's just for a moment to stop and breathe for a half a minute, to take a moment to breathe, to calm, to have it create transition time, just to breathe.
Watch watch the thoughts, right? The feeling and what goes along with a thought and a feeling when you're feeling out of control. What do you want to eat?
That segue is perfect because it's so true. Because when we are stressed or too busy or have anxiousness, we don't make good choices, do we, Dr. Eddi?
Nope, we don't, because I hear it all the time. How do we change it? Because as soon as I feel bad, I want junk food. And I'm like, well, and isn't it amazing? As soon as you feel joyful and healthy and lovely and everything's flowing right, you want to eat well. You want to eat healthy. You want to make it count.
So maybe
that's
you
what
can
we're
do
talking
so
about.
maybe you can do the opposite. So in yoga we say the breath reflects the mind and the mind reflects the breath. So we can use the breath to slow the mind down. So in the food, we can use healthy eating to calm the negative thoughts and the negative talk. Is that
Well,
correct?
yeah, but also too, it's the nutrients, right? It's all that the we can even pick healthy food that pretend it's junk food, because we can have, it doesn't have to be all this vitamins and minerals and all these kind of things in it, but our healthy junk food, we want it to have a purpose, because when we eat food and we feel good, well, it helps us make better decisions. When we
Yeah.
eat bad and we feel bad, we don't make such great decisions
Yeah.
often because we feel
Yeah.
so bad and we're like, I'm feeling shitty anyway. Well,
Yeah, I'm feeling
might
shitty
as well
anyway.
just,
That's the key. Yeah, because
yeah.
Eddi, I mean, you're so disciplined. I know I've mentioned this before, but we're about to spend a month together. And probably by the
Woo.
time this comes out, we'll probably be at the tail end of our month, or if not finished. And I will
Mhm.
be feeling great because my eating choices get much better. I mean, I'm a very good eater, but I'm not as perfect as you are. Like, you're amazing. You're always healthy choices. So for you, tell me your self-talk around being disciplined, and eating so amazing.
Well, I think what I always say to people when they're in my office, and because I get to do this every day, I say it to myself every day. It's the quality of the food. Like, it's the quality of what you're putting into your body. And you know, the higher quality food has a higher energy. It has more input. It has more effect in the body that brings us into a more positive feeling. Um, Even the guilt of the choices, right? People
Right.
always say I feel so guilty
Yeah.
when I eat milk chocolate and I keep eating it because it's Christmas or a
Yeah.
birthday, and there's that cake looking at me and I'm going, yeah, but you know, don't do the deprivation talk, the shame, blame talk. Just go in this moment. I'm going to work on swapping this out next time. Like, what can I swap it for?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's you got dark chocolate in your purse or there's another choice on the table, like these are the little things we want to start doing. We want to
Yeah.
start, making the steps into, first of all, do I believe that we need to eat real food? Because a lot of people go, food is food. Food is food. But
Mm-hmm.
food, no, not all food is
Mm-hmm.
created equally.
Mm-hmm.
The colors of fruits and vegetables, the reason they're great colors is because there's components in them that fuel our body, help our eyes,
Mm-hmm.
boost our immune system. There's all kinds of stuff in them, polyphenols, and the colors are there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And when we look at junk food, the colors don't have a purpose. They're not lutein and, all these beautiful names of antioxidants. They're red dye. And they
Mm-hmm.
just pulled red dye number 3 off the
Oh,
shelves, right?
no way.
Yeah, and I've been saying for 30 years red dye is not good. But what does red dye do? It draws your eye to the product. It draws your eye to the bag,
Mm-hmm.
of and kids, they're visual, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even adults, we're visual. We look at things. So a lot of times when we start reading what's in something, first of all, it's what you're looking at, and you go, "Oh, look at this, the box of cereal. What's on
Mm-hmm.
it?" Not many people spin it around. Now, there's lots of people do spin it around and look at the
Mm-hmm.
ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
And we always say if there's more than five and you keep reading, there's going to be some ingredients in there you can't even pronounce. And if you can't
Mm-hmm.
pronounce it, your body doesn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I wanted also now I know for you it's a health, like you have celiac,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But and you've been disciplined with it for a long time. So what about back in, because I know for me the hardest when I work with people, the hardest thing is to get them unstuck. So it's like
Hmm.
what was the journey for you back in the day? Like what would you tell yourself looking for, like was it just that you felt better and you wanted to feel better, you needed to have energy? Like what was it for you to
Well, for me as a child, like if my family ever listened to this, they would call me the picky eater. And I was because I know I was born to do this work. I was born
Mm-hmm.
to learn about nutrition and the effects of food in the body. And for the first 30 years of my life, I didn't know I had celiac. So,
Mm-hmm.
I suffered, but I just thought, oh, it's something I ate. I didn't know it was the bread. I didn't know it was and of course, mom's like, oh, your poor little belly's upset. Here, have a slice of toast. And here, put some peanut butter on it. And I'm going, ugh, I don't do well with that one either. And these different food things, right? I kept reacting to. So I started to find things that didn't bother me. And I found that when I properly combined them, so if I had fish, I didn't like anything else on it. I didn't want flour on it. I just wanted fish. So I would boil fish and a potato and onion, and that seemed to sit well in my belly, right?
Mm,
And everything, I think from my teenage years on is when I started changing my food because I could feel the difference. When I was
right.
younger, I suffered, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
ruptured appendix when I was 11, almost died, bellyache after bellyache. And yeah, even through nursing school, everyone remembers me from my stomach. Oh, there she goes. Oh, poor stomach. I didn't know I had celiac.
Mm-hmm.
So when I look back and when I have, patients in my office and they go, "Oh my God, I suffered so bad as a kid." And I'm like, just start writing this stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the awareness around our food journey, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like when we journal it and then we link it. But a lot of times we don't. We don't give food that much awareness. We just
Mm-hmm.
go, why do we want these certain foods? Well, people go, well, it's a treat for the kids. And we buy into the processing and the packaging. And sure, it's on in everyone's house, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and what are the 10 most addictive foods?
Mm-hmm. Tell
Pizza,
us. Pizza.
pizza,
Well, but what
chocolate.
about, hold on. Let's stop. Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, pizza and chocolate. No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah,
No
they
chocolate.
are.
Okay, okay. But there
Milk
are,
chocolate,
there
chips,
are, okay. Hold on. Whoa, I can buy chips, but
ice cream.
pizza. maybe ice cream, but when there's natural whole ingredients and like organic, like say pizza that has flour from Italy and it's a lighter, it's like
That's
homemade. It's
right.
not in the
Yeah.
box.
Yeah, well, that's right. So there's the ingredient list,
Okay.
right? So even if you saw a cauliflower crust pizza, so we don't blast it with one brush, right? We paint it different colors. So pizza in a box, in a package, it's processed. It's got an
Mm-hmm.
expiration date on it. It's
Mm-hmm.
totally different than pizza you make at home or
Mm-hmm.
you see the ingredients and you know what's in it.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
key. And the
Okay.
reason why a lot of these quick pizza things, like people buy for their kids in
Yeah.
bulk, and you read the ingredients and it's like, it says pepperoni and cheese, but you turn it around and there's a lot of ingredients, a
Before
lot.
the pepperoni and cheese too.
That's right. Often before, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And these ingredients actually are what is in these foods. Now, we know in chocolate and candy and ice
Mm-hmm.
cream it's sugar, right? But in a lot of these processed packaged foods, it is that high carb count and that carb converts to sugar. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these scientists, they design these foods to make us crave them. There's
Mm-hmm.
all these fast food places.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think you crave one over the other?
The,
Because the body knows. It's like, oh,
mm-hmm.
I know KFC from Mary Brown's. Well, I don't know if you have
Mm-hmm.
Mary Brown's in the US.
I
I don't
don't.
think
I
so.
don't either. I
That's
don't.
hair.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the spice packets. It's how they
Mm-hmm.
flavor things. Same with ice cream. If people go in and they have their certain brand of ice cream, there's a reason because there's a blend in them that some people like over something else. Same with chocolate, right? Dark chocolate, totally different than milk chocolate.
Mm-hmm. Because milk
They
chocolate
feed
has dairy, it has
and
sugar,
sugar, a lot
and
of chemicals, a lot of
yeah, a lot of chemicals.
binders.
Yeah,
Yep.
because
And we did
because
a
the
talk about that, right? With the
yeah
chocolate bars way
yeah
back. Yeah.
yeah because I was
Yeah.
really into to ordering cacao straight from, and I saw the processing of when they take it from the cacao bean and then they actually ferment it. So chocolate, like black tea, is like a fermented food, but then
Yeah.
you take it so far from that that then it becomes bad. But if you get it as close to you can, like the higher cacao count, right? The higher,
Mm-hmm.
like 80, 70, 80, 90%, and look, no added sugar type thing, then
Yeah.
that's better, a
Yeah.
better
And even
choice.
the
Yeah.
added sugar, like you got to read labels because sometimes
Yeah.
the added sugar says no sugar added, and you turn it around and it says Splenda, sucralose,
Mm-hmm.
like all these fake diet
Mm-hmm.
sweeteners, aspartame, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the better ones you want to look for like stevia and monk fruit and raw honey, right? You just
Mm-hmm.
not raw honey, but honey and raw sugar,
Mm-hmm.
things like that, or
Yeah, like
fruit.
sucanat, sucanat. What about grape juice? Because some things, like I was looking at these drinks the other day, and they looked really good, but then they were sweetened with grape juice, and I was like, "Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?"
Yeah, they're from concentrates and
Yeah.
they've got sugar added and it's just amazing that companies can get away with putting so much junk into food. Like and I keep saying, the 70-30 rule or the 80-20 rule, like I had a gal today. I said, if you could eat 70% really well, healthy, you know what you're eating, the chicken's the chicken. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the egg's the egg, the apple's the apple.
Mm-hmm.
And you had 30% junk food where you went and had your bag of chips, but you want your bag of chips with three ingredients,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
eight or
Mm-hmm.
10.
Mm-hmm.
They should be just potato, salt,
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of oil, but they got all kinds of chemicals and dressings and
Mm-hmm.
flavors and stuff added. The
Mm-hmm.
body's got to detox all that out. And I
Mm-hmm.
said to her, I said, she's trying to lose weight, she's battling all kinds of things. And I'm like, give me a percentage. Like, what's your intake like? Is it 70% healthy, 80? She goes, oh my God, no, it's 90% junk, 10% real.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, do you know that a lot of these junk food diets and habits contribute to a lot of our health issues? Like diabetes, type 2, and obesity and high blood pressure because of all the salt and the sodium and the sugar that's in the stuff. She goes, well, I'm getting it. I'm sitting here now and I'm getting it. Like I'm understanding it. And I'm like, well, just keep listening to stuff like this, right? Because once you get interested in it, your health starts to change because you start swapping out stuff. You start going, well, I don't need that much sugar. And then your taste buds change. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you do eat something at a birthday party and you go, God, that's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
because you're desensitizing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you got to do that for yourselves. Like we
Mm-hmm.
got to look at what we're putting in our bodies, especially
Mm-hmm.
after 50. This the quality of food, how we're feeding our biome, like our cells, how they're turning over. You got green in vegetables because you got chlorophyll. And what's chlorophyll? It's a cleanup for the body. It's oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
We got, beta carotene in the yellow stuff. We got carrots and sweet potato, right? That nature's beautiful. All the colors are there for a reason. The blue, the purple, the red,
Mm-hmm.
orange, the brown, the white.
All different vitamins. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And what
hey,
color's junk food?
yeah.
Yellow.
Yeah, right. The
Beige.
bright orange Doritos or the
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so you mentioned chlorophyll. I had bought the liquid chlorophyll, but I haven't because I remember you had recommended it years ago. So
Hmm.
what do you do with a bottle of chlorophyll? Do you put like a tablespoon in your
Yeah,
water
put a
or
little
what?
bit in your water, put it in your smoothie.
Mm-hmm.
It's green.
Mm-hmm.
So chlorophyll is really nice. It oxygenates the cells. It helps boost your immune system. It helps, it's a pH balancer. It helps alkaline your body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a lot of people who don't get enough vegetables in. I always tell them, take a little chlorophyll, some
Mm-hmm.
spirulina, chlorella, a greens mixture. If you
Mm-hmm.
can't get your veggies in,
Mm-hmm.
it's so important to get the greens in because
Mm-hmm.
that's our cell food, right? The
Mm-hmm.
nutrients are we get it from our fruits and our vegetables.
Yeah, so in it and you don't get it from as much like say if you have a non-organic salad every day and then somebody else has an organic salad, mixed salad every day, they're not getting the same ingredients because the nutrients in the soil are depleted in the non-organic and they're
Mm-hmm.
organically means they're maybe doing some rotation, they're doing healthy soil practices, so there's more
Mm-hmm.
nutrient dense actually fruits and vegetables than the non-organic. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's less pesticide, right? There's
Yeah.
less sprays and treatments to fields and gardens
Yeah.
when you can get that organic label.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good. I mean, that brings us to like the top 10 addictive foods, the dirty dozen and the clean 15, right?
Okay, so I totally interrupted you because I was so in
Yeah.
shock with the pizza and the chocolate and the ice cream. So I want you to finish that list first. Here's me
Okay.
going squirrel
Okay.
on you. Okay,
So here's so the
yeah.
top 10 most addictive foods, or they're the most craved, right?
Okay.
Because you get a taste for it, you get a flavor for it. It's like a baby that's never had sugar and it will eat peas and Brussels sprouts and everything until it's had a banana and then it has something sweet and they're like, "Whoa."
Goes
Because it's
right to
like,
the brain like
"Whoa."
heroin, right?
It's a total dopamine
Mm-hmm.
hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so there's the junk, the joy, right? It's that when I eat food and it's got such flavor, but it's healthy and it's quality, and I feel really good about that. I care about myself. It takes preparation. You have to be prepared to put good stuff in your fridge because you'll eat good food if that's what's in your fridge.
Mm-hmm. So
If there's
true.
It's true, right?
Yeah,
Even
so true.
yeah, even my grandkids always come in and go, Nana, you always have fruit in your fridge. Yep. And vegetables. And yep, there it is. It's always there because
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want to pull out first for them when they're here or for peeps when they're visiting. Or I have like healthy little biscuits made, but they're gluten free, dairy free. And there's all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of recipes out there. Like
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to lack flavor and even though a lot of people think, oh, it's gluten free, it tastes like cardboard. It used to.
It used
We've
to,
come a
yeah.
long way.
Yeah.
We got to change that
Mm-hmm.
narrative too
And
around
there are a
that.
lot of gluten-free flours that are very processed and have a lot of starch in their crap.
Yep. And the
But there
thing is,
are.
if you don't have to be gluten free, I mean, you can do whole grains. You can use
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of flours in cooking. You can use a whole wheat. You can do sourdough. You can even do gluten free bread,
Mm-hmm.
sourdough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you watch
So many.
there's an art to that. But,
Mm-hmm.
but the most addictive foods
Okay.
are pizza, chocolate, chips, cookies, ice cream, french fries, cheeseburgers, soda, cake, and processed cheeses like marbled cheddar and those packaged cheeses because they
Mm.
have flavor additives. They have
Mm.
like a lot of things added to enhance not only the color but the flavor, the shelf longevity. expiration dates seem to be long on these things. Yeah. So, what do you think?
Well,
Do you
I was
like some of
thinking,
those?
yes, yes, I like a lot of those, but I feel like I'm good because, like, my niece and nephew were just here for a week from Canada, and I was, I went all deep into making my own pizza from this guy I saw in Masterclass who won a pizza award, and so I got the wood thing that you put it in the oven. I got the big metal 30-pound metal sheet, steel sheet. To cook it on, so you preheat the oven at 500 with the steel sheet in it, and then you
Mm-hmm.
sour you make, you get a special flour from Italy that's a high protein, high gluten thing, and you sour it for, I mean, the whole thing, right? And the really fresh
Yeah.
tomato sauce and fresh whole mozzarella.
Yeah.
So, so yes, so when I do pizza, I either do that or up the street is a New York slice that they make everything there. It's good. I don't do it very
Yeah.
often, but that. Then
Yep.
chocolate, I'm pretty good. Like I used to only love milk chocolate when I was younger, and now I do like, but I do add usually if I make a chocolate mousse or something, I do add like my monk fruit and all that stuff. So I have like ways, especially when I did keto, I learned a lot of ways of making
Yeah.
things with the keto sugars and stuff. And I still sort of use that trying to be healthier, low carb type thing.
Yep.
So, yes, no, I like a lot of those foods, but they can be healthy too, like the
They
cheeses.
can.
Right.
Yep.
When I eat cheese, I don't eat like a ton of it. I try not to do cheese more than a couple of days a week and not all in the same day. And
Mm-hmm.
I do more like European stinky cheeses that I know are better for you, like not the definitely like not cream cheese or,
Yeah.
all the yeah. And the cottage cheese is good for you too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
The
because it's
fermented
fermented,
cheeses,
fermented
paneer, and all
cheeses.
that. But
Yeah.
but it's more when you look at like even um what like for me having the grandkids. Sometimes when what lunches they serve in schools, right? And I listen to parents talk about what they have to feed the kids because the kids want that food. I need goldfish, and so eats,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know, like if Taylor Swift came out with a cereal, all the kids would be eating Taylor Swift cereal. Swifty,
That's what you need
Swifty
to do. Do a
bubbles.
healthy cereal with Taylor.
Yeah, yeah, Taylor, let's
Mm-hmm.
do a
Mm-hmm.
healthy cereal, gluten
Mm-hmm.
free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be good. So, so then we get into like, so some of those foods, like even French fries, you can
Mm.
make them healthier. You can cook them in the oven. Like potatoes, sometimes are a really lovely comfort food. But
Mm-hmm.
what happens with French fries is at fast food places,
Mm-hmm.
they're fried in oil that's been burned
Mm-hmm.
over
Over
and
and
over.
over and over.
Peanut oil,
Right.
seed oils, like we know they're
Mm.
toxic. So
Mm-hmm.
what if you cut up some potatoes? This is what I do when I have the grandkids, and I throw them
Mm-hmm.
in the air fryer. I do sweet potato fries. I cut up vegetables and just bake them in the oven or in the air fryer. And they're gonna love them. So French fries can be, made healthy.
Yep. Yep.
Cheeseburgers can be healthy.
Yep.
So a lot of times, you're getting your meats and your lean proteins, and when you're putting cheese slices on, why use that when just use real cheese
Yeah.
or no cheese, or just put lettuce and tomato and
Yeah.
pickles and make
And
it a
it's what you get used to too. Like my sister only uses like real cheese, never the cheese slices. So my niece and nephew, who are now 20 and 23, they're famous for when they were young. Like they would love their
yeah.
grilled cheese sandwiches. Mason fortunately loved sourdough bread, and so he'd
Mm,
have sourdough and cheddar sharp, super sharp Canadian cheddar cheese, which is so delicious. And so when they'd have it at a restaurant or out at a friend's place, and it was cheese slices, they would not eat it. They couldn't. They still are
yeah.
like that. They can't eat
Isn't
if
that
they take
funny?
if there's a slice of anything, they sliced cheese, they can't eat it.
Yeah.
Great. We
Isn't
should
it
all be
wild?
that way. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the biggest addictive junk foods out there, is not, I don't even like saying junk food because it's not a food, it's just junk,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
soda. Soda.
Yeah.
Like Pepsis and Coke and
Yeah.
all the chemicals that are in them, and people crave them, and they
Mm-hmm.
know the difference between Coke and Pepsi. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason is it changes taste buds,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not a talent to know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, you can't use that in the Miss Universe pageant. I
Mm-hmm.
know the difference between Coke and Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
So go for carbonated water, get filtered water. I take celery and cut it up and put it in a mason jar, and I dump that water out the next day and I drink it in my water bottle and add more water to it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just kind of, and you got to like the flavor of celery. And if you don't do that. Use
Mm-hmm.
something else. Put in,
Cucumber, lemon,
yeah,
mint,
yep.
mint leaves.
Add the chlorophyll. Like when we get the opportunity to add something that's good, do
Mm-hmm.
it. Like to your
Mm-hmm.
water, to
Mm-hmm.
when you're eating something, get your vegetable in. Like
Mm-hmm.
get your vegetable in. And even all these preventing sugar spikes and glucose spikes, get your vegetable in first. Like eat
Mm-hmm.
it because we've talked about it before on our
Mm-hmm.
podcast. You get your veggie first, protein next, carb and sugar last. But a lot of people go for the carb and sugar first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like because you're hungry and it's sitting right there, and you just like I have to stop myself. Like if I'm making something for dinner, like it's would be so easy to grab the sweet potato
Yeah.
fry first or something. But I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
I've got my snap peas. In fact, my niece and nephew were joking with me because they said you're really into the snap peas, and I'm like, I buy 3 bags at a time, and I have them washed so that if I'm
Yeah.
hungry, I just have like 10 or 15 of them before I eat anything.
Yeah. And
And
that's the thing. That's being prepared, right?
mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm,
you're going, they're in my fridge. I got them.
mm-hmm,
And once we start feeling good, we do that. We start getting stuff available and it's in the fridge and
mm-hmm,
and we start becoming aware of like even the foods I'll list for you, like the dirty dozen.
mm-hmm. Okay.
And the reason they're called the dirty dozen is because of the amount of pesticide that's
Mm-hmm,
used on them,
mm-hmm,
how they're treated. And
mm-hmm,
we really got to wash these. And like if we can buy them organic or, from family markets or local farms,
mm-hmm.
perfect. And strawberries,
So
number one.
sad. So
And
you
I
got to make
grow
sure if you get a
grow my
nice,
strawberries.
yeah, you go to strawberries, but yeah, because I got some nice, big, huge, beautiful ones the other day. I mean, they were gorgeous. And so,
Yep.
yeah, I just take, usually if I have time, I'll wash a bunch of stuff in water and then I'll put a teaspoon of vinegar in it and let it sit for
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes and then
Yep.
rinse it. I think that's one of the better ways. But
Yep.
I'll take a little pump of my soap and then
Yeah.
wash it and like rinse it like
Oh
three or
yeah.
four times. That all
Yep.
helps, right? Okay.
Absolutely. It just gets the dirt off, right? Just
The
the
pesticides.
pesticide. You're
Yeah.
you're just cleaning off the outside. Spinach is another one. Kale,
Mm,
unless it's bought, you grow tons of kale and
yeah.
look at the difference in your kale.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of times people go, well, I'd rather buy it frozen because I can't get it fresh. It's all this treated stuff. And I'm like, well, that's okay.
As
That's
long as
okay
you do
because once you get it
organic.
fresh, yeah, yeah,
Because if it's not
absolutely.
organic, you're getting pesticides in your
Hmm.
frozen
Yeah, but a
spinach.
lot of times there's no organic available, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
local, and then you're buying local but you're always looking for that clean label, like
Yeah.
you organic, yes, right? Because for something to be called organic, it hasn't been treated with pesticides.
Yeah.
And if we eat tons of food, if you walk into a grocery store and you see real shiny apples, they're treated. Like
And
they're
they've
just
got wax on them.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're one of the dirty dozen. They have wax. Like we picked a bunch of apples around here local this summer, early fall. And they had like holes and bruises but when we peeled them and got, just most of the outside off, they're near the ocean. They were so delicious. Oh my God. They were like not
Mm,
huge and not too small, but they were yeah, it was so good. And
mm.
when you taste it and then you taste something else that's
Oh,
not that great,
yeah.
like, we don't want to normalize
Not
bad
tasting good.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, that junk food is, well,
Yeah.
everybody eats it, then it's normal. But
Yeah.
you don't want to eat that much of it. What are you telling your body?
Yeah.
What's the message to your body? What's the neurotransmitters? What's the brain getting?
Mm-hmm.
Really, right? Because the brain is fat and water. It needs fat and water. It needs
Mm-hmm.
a superfood. Like avocados is on the clean list, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
our dirty
Okay.
dozen: strawberries, spinach, kale, nectarines, apples, grapes, peaches, cherries, pears, tomatoes, celery, and potatoes.
Wow. So wash your
Yeah,
potatoes or peel them.
absolutely. Yep,
I
yep,
grow my
yep.
own. Potatoes are the easiest things to grow.
We do too.
Yeah.
Yep. which I love them. We get them local here too. Potatoes
Yeah.
are, yeah, they're
Yeah.
easy. And then the Clean 15, because they have the lowest amount of pesticide residue. And they start with avocados, sweet corn, pineapple, onions, papaya, sweet peas, eggplant, asparagus, cantaloupes, broccoli, mushrooms like shiitake, turkey tail, chaga, oyster. Those are your
Mm-hmm.
best ones. Cabbage, honeydew melon, and kiwi.
Mm.
That's a lot to choose from, right?
Now, what about the sweet corn now? Because corn's so genetically modified. I thought it was all bad, all starch, all sugar.
Well, corn is corn, but they're talking about more of the clean 15 of what is when you go to eat it, because corn is a big staple in many diets, right? But sweet corn on the cob, a lot of people eat it for fiber. I always say it's what how it's going in, it's how it's coming out.
Yeah. Well, what the glucose goddess was saying was very interesting. She had a video that came out last week. I don't know if you saw it, where she said, don't blend your fruit and vegetables. She
Mm,
said, because the structure of what makes a fruit a structure is the fiber that you need, and you change
that's right.
it when you blend it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's
I
right.
don't like that because I like smoothies.
I know, but sometimes it's okay. It's okay to do that, but this is why a lot of people go, they'd rather eat their food than
Yes.
drink their food.
Right, right.
And if your body needs a little break, a little rest, to do smoothies is fine.
Yeah,
You give your digestive system a little rest. And then we need
yeah,
the fibers from, yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Like you eat lots of salads and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not all or nothing. Like there's so much information out there.
Right.
We're just finally really like blasting. Like Dr. Mark Hyman comes out with how aware we need to be about junk food and to make more and more people aware that this is junk. This has no medicinal, no health value.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a choice that we make because of a craving we have, and we got to figure out, am I wanting too much of it? And why do I want it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you have cravings because you're out of balance. Sometimes, if you're in
Yeah,
balance, you have cravings of stuff that you need. But if you're
yeah.
out of balance, you will crave things because of the additives in the food and because you're not in balance, you're not listening. Yeah, so what is a craving really, like in the unhealthy way, when you have an unhealthy craving? Like, what is the
Well,
mechanics
first
that
of all,
happens?
you got to ask yourself that craving, are you hungry?
Yeah.
Are you thirsty? Is there an emotion going on? Are you stress eating?
Right.
Like, is it a craving?
Yeah.
And a lot of times is what's going on in our microbiome, what's being
Mm.
transmitted from the gut to
Right.
the brain.
Right.
So a craving, like what are you missing in your diet? So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times when we eat foods and we go, I don't feel really good, there's no craving. And I
Mm-hmm.
always ask people, do you crave salt or sugar?
Yeah. I crave
And
both.
I know I like the flavors, but I don't crave them.
Yeah, I guess I should say, yeah. Sometimes at night, my trigger is watching TV at night. The daytime, I could go all
Really,
day without sugar, like
yeah,
all freaking day without sugar,
yeah,
without crackers. But
yeah,
nighttime, when I'm like winding down, I'm watching TV. It's like a but switch is like, and I have to have a cracker
yeah,
or a little juju, or oh my gosh,
yeah,
it's terrible. I've been trying to
yeah,
reprogram myself for years on that. I'm getting
yeah. You should
better.
you should take up knitting. Take up knitting, like knit while you're watching TV. You stop because people do. They eat. It's snack time. It's movie time. It's
Yeah.
popcorn and it's a
And there's
few
a
chips or
connection to
it's
the brain. If
nuts.
you've done that in the past, like your
Yeah,
brain will, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's,
People that pick or bite their nails do that when they watch TV. They can go
mm-hmm,
all day long. As soon as they sit, there's a stimming, there's a relaxation, there's something going
mm,
on and most of the time we're wanting something to eat. And
mm,
so I always say, even with food, get something in there that is quality. Like even if it's dark chocolate and a few chips, and you got some fruit cut up, and you
yeah.
know,
That's what I did
yeah,
when my niece and nephew were here. As I make a huge bowl of my favorite sweet peppers and cucumbers and snap
Yeah.
peas, of course. And I'd have those. And then we had some truffle chips from Trader Joe's that were really good, and
I
a few
remember the
other.
night, remember we did a tray. You had all these, it was really funny. You wouldn't know, but it was like all this gourmet dips. And oh my gosh, we were up there with those big, long, sweet peppers,
Yeah,
dipping them
those are
into the
so good.
guacamole. And
Yeah,
oh, it
hummus
was
and
so good. Yeah, it was
the
so
love
good.
tapas. And then, yeah, so felt better about eating the truffle chips because the truffle chips at Trader Joe's, my niece bought them. I've never even had them. They were like, and then I was watching the movie and I was like, it was like I ate half the bag before I even knew it. And I
Yeah, that's what
never do
happens.
things like that.
That's what happens. That's why you do those little bowls. That's what I do with Stretch. Like do a
Right.
little bowl
Yeah, because if you
because
have the
both hands are
bag,
going in it.
yes,
Yeah, the bag's gone.
my
Yeah,
bag is
it's do the little
gone.
bowls and mix it up a little bit. Like have some even frozen grapes, like anything that can slow you down a little bit, something you got to crunch on. You know, like
Yeah.
slows you down because you're wanting your brain is activated. It's watching and it's wanting
Hmm.
to eat.
And it's
Yeah,
unconscious. Like when you're
yeah,
watching in the old time movie theater, I'd do salty sweet. That's the worst thing for me. Salty sweet, salty sweet. And I just realized that's what we did the other day, although I had my healthy snacks too, which was definitely helpful. But yeah,
yeah.
salty sweet in the dark movie theater very unconsciously because you get the one and then you want the other. And then, oh my gosh, what a cycle.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
just mix it up a little bit. Like even with like when you're going to buy stuff, I always say read the ingredients. Like read when you're getting your snacks or your junk food, right?
Hmm.
What's going to give you the most joy? Don't say cake and cheesecake and
Yeah.
chocolate and milk
Yeah.
chocolate and big Turks and Kit
Yeah.
Kats. Well, of
Yeah.
course, because a lot of these foods, we have a cellular memory of them. They bring back memories,
Right.
right?
Right. Big
I ate it when I
Turk
was a
when you said
kid.
that. Yes.
Yeah, like you can
Gum.
go right back to a memory.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Right back, like
Yeah.
almond joys or
Yeah.
um, what are those turtles?
Yeah.
Those creamy things, right?
Hmm.
Everybody's got a memory or a story with junk food.
Right.
Halloween, right? And we encourage it all the time. Like we call it a treat, right? Nobody says,
Yeah.
"Here's your carrots. Here's a treat."
I know. Whenever people
Here,
offer me dessert and they bring out a bowl of fruit, I'm like, that is not dessert.
I know, my family are so sweet. They're like, everybody here's cheesecake, and Eddie, there's your grapes. I was like, okay, thanks. There's not a dairy-free cheesecake here anywhere, which can be done. It
Can
can
be
be.
absolutely. I,
Yep.
I made a keto one time, so yeah, we can. I've got save some recipes for while you're here to make.
Oh, Strat's getting more and more famous for his gluten-free scones, and they're
They're
gluten-free,
so
dairy-free,
good.
and and
Yes.
they are, and they're fresh blueberries, and
Hmm.
we got to get the real stuff in, and that's what
Hmm.
it's like, what do you want to swap first? So a lot of people
Hmm.
go, well, I'll just add in more vegetables in the evening. Now's not the time to say, well, drink a big glass of Metamucil in your water. That'll curb your cravings.
I'd throw up.
Well, some people need it though, because they're trying to lower their cholesterol. They're trying to get
Hmm.
more fiber in their diet. There's too many carbs and sweets in their diet.
Hmm.
And they often come back and go, "Oh my God, I chew like three or four of those gummy Metamucils, or I mix it in water, the powder, and I drink it, and I don't have sugar cravings anymore.
Yeah,
What
because
is
they
that?"
get
I'm like,
full on fiber.
"Yeah, yeah." So if we can fill up at supper time and get the fibers in through our veggies and
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff.
We won't
Get
have
them
as
in
many
first.
cravings. Yeah.
That's right.
I
Yep.
remember on keto, I had zero cravings. And when I first started eating sweets again, it took me probably a year. And I would eat anything
Yep.
sweet. It would be like way too sweet for me.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I would, yeah. Anyways, I'm not that way right now. I
Yeah.
need a
But
month with you, Eddie, by the time you're
I
gone
know we're
in a
going to do
month.
great. Yeah, because sugars. My idea around sugars is I like the healthy ones. I won't
Mm-hmm.
use white sugar. I just
Mm-mm.
artificial sweeteners. I don't. I really want to feed my brain. I want to,
Mm-hmm.
anything I look at that I eat, it's got to have a purpose. So, when I look at sugar and I know all the things it can damage in the body, especially white sugar, like processed sugar, processed packaged foods.
Mm-hmm.
I just try. I keep it really low in my own life, in my grandkids' life, in my family's life, with my friends, when I have people over, when I travel, right? It's kind of like, I just,
Yeah.
and I try and educate people on that mostly too in my office is take out the white sugar and take a look at what you eat that has it in it.
Yeah.
And just look at your grams of sugar just on the things you buy. And you'll be blown away. Like you can do almond flour crackers instead of white saltines, white flour, white sugar saltines.
Almond flour crackers you can get well, you can get them at Trader Joe's. You
Costco.
know, get Costco, and they're so good.
Yep.
That's what my
Yep.
snack is these days, along with my veggie stuff, is the almond crackers to get the salt
Because
in.
once you start making the little changes, like it has the ripple effect in the body. You start craving that, and then you're feeling good, and motivation kicks in, and then you start feeling joyful, and you're going, I'm feeling better. And then it's not all or nothing. And then when you do go to a Christmas party or you junk out, you realize, oh my God, I've been normalizing these symptoms. I've been like being okay with feeling sick to my stomach or feel like I have a hangover, and you didn't drink, you got a sugar hangover.
Yeah.
So when you start feeling better, you just, I don't know, I think you make different choices.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
for sure.
I think. Don't you
Yep.
think?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And then
Sure
your
do.
skin starts to radiate, right? You start addressing the inside, it shows on the outside. And again, with that, we start slowing the aging process because sugar speeds it up. We know it damages cells. So we just got to get in control of it so it doesn't control us. That's what I think anyway. That's
Excellent. So you
my
say that with
story.
food, so food is medicine, and you don't want your cravings to control you. And I always say, you use your mind. You don't let your mind use you.
Don't let convenience dictate your health.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
a good
good,
line.
Eddie. Did we cover all your lists now?
I think
get all
we
your
did.
lists?
I think we did. Yeah. Yep.
Excellent.
Yep. Just get your veggies in. I'm looking at my little notes and switch up your mindset, just
Even
yeah.
if you just pick one thing that we talked about today, and you change that for a few months and see how that does, and then you add another thing. That's what I would tell people with like meditation or yoga, or it's just like pick one thing that you can change, that you can commit to, one thing at a time. Because if you try to do too many, you won't do it. You'll give up after a while because it's too difficult.
That's right.
Too different.
Yep.
So be gentle with yourself, but be kind to yourself by eating healthy and utilizing some of these, things you've learned. Maybe you've learned a few things on our talk today.
Yeah, it's like Battle of the Bites.
Not the Battle of the
This
Bulge.
or this. Battle of the Bites.
I love it. You're awesome. Thank you, Dr. Eddie.
So are you. You're awesome. See you soon, and thanks for listening, everybody.